how much attention you've been paying to Spider-Man 4 news that's been coming out.
Yep.
They have been dropping so many rumours, it's ridiculous.
Big rumours.
Big rumours, like
Big rumours.
Nicole Kidman potentially playing a villain. How Scorpion may return from Homecoming and all that. But the big news, I think, that overshadows it and makes sense to me, and I'll tell you why, is there's big rumours that Mark Ruffalo, a.k.a. the Hulk, will be a big part of Spider-Man 4.
Big part.
Now, you're a Hulk fan, dude.
Yes, I'm excited. But these are rumours.
The Hulk fan.
These are rumours. But
okay, let's play in the realm of it's real. How does that make you feel? Hulk, Spider-Man teaming up together.
if it's a team up, it will be absolutely amazing. There are storylines in the comic books with Hulk and obviously Spidey as well. Who knows how they're going to team up? But I would also like to see Professor Hulk, and if Spidey's in university, and then you got Professor Hulk, and they become mentors and something like that.
I like where you're going with that, but I would also like them to do everything. So I would like, yes, they meet because of science, they get along well.
They're both,
but for some reason, here goes Rage Hulk.
Why it just goes...
So him and Spidey, he's trying to deal with Rage Hulk, and just for I'm sure he's good in the end, but have Rage Hulk back again, because that would be hilarious. I think it's pretty well on brand for Spider-Man, because if you think about the other films, Rick, we had Iron Man in Homecoming, right?
Yeah.
In the second one, Nick Fury was the
He's always
MCU
had some
guy,
sort of mentor.
and then the third one was Doctor Strange. So it makes sense that you have an OG Avenger come into Spider-Man 4 as well. I think thematically for the movies,
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm excited about it. Also, should note, last show we did of this, I said there was no Marvel movie in 2026. Now, I feel I'm still correct in that, but it has been pointed out to me that Spider-Man is an MCU. So I've got to ask you, when you look at Spider-Man films, do you look at them as MCU films or Sony films?
It's hard because,
I think of them as Sony.
Sony has blended in so many disasters when it comes to...
You would want to separate.
You want to separate, right? You do. Miley, you want to separate MCU Spidey, but it's hard, you're right. But, you want to go more MCU, obviously, but...
Yeah, it's true. Hard. It is kind of... But I still look at them and I just think Sony films, And remember this one, though the Hulk news may change that, I had heard with this one, Marvel wasn't really involved at all. But that's clearly not the case if this Hulk thing is true. Because you don't get to use Hulk unless Kevin Feige says yes.
Yeah.
So there must be still some involvement, which is good too. Because we don't trust Sony, let's face it.
No,
Sony left on their own, we get Kraven the Hunter, we get Morbius, we get Madam Web. So we definitely don't want any of that. But I thought that was...
huge news. And I hope it is. And I hope it's not a small cameo. We don't know what capacity he's going to be in it, but hopefully it is majority of the movie for sure. I'd really want to see Hulk back on the screen because we haven't seen him for a while. So
last time we saw him was on She-Hulk.
Brief little...
One of the most maligned, unfairly TV shows.
Yeah, you spoke about that last show that we did.
Look, I'm going to... I'd watch some episode. It's not every episode's a banger. No. But comparatively, you look at some of these other shows like Echo and stuff like that.
Terrible.
Man, this is not bad. This is a good show. Yeah. Hey, at the moment, Mr. Possible is out there making big mega dollars, as you would, because it's a Tom Cruise film, and whatever you think of Tom Cruise, he makes big films.
He does.
He does his own stunts,
He does, man.
He's like the English Jackie Chan of our generation.
The English Jackie Chan.
He really is. So, he's been going out at the moment promoting, as well as the director. You may not know the director's called Christopher McQuarrie. Excellent writer. And has directed the last 4 Mission Impossibles.
Yep.
But at one stage, Rick, he was responsible for... He'd been asked by Warner Brothers to write a script for Man of Steel 2.
Oh...
Back in the day.
With Cavill. Yeah.
With Cavill. And what was interesting about him talking about his script, which he said was amazing, I'm sure he did because he wrote it.
Of course I don't.
But he was going to team up with Green Lantern. So it was going to be this epic film with Superman and the Green Lantern. And it got me thinking. So you would have written that 2013, 2014, right around when Man of Steel come out. There's probably a strong chance that when he was writing that script, he was thinking about Ryan Reynolds.
No, coming back.
Because that's the way they would have pitched it. Because remember, Ryan didn't sign on to do Deadpool till 2015.
Yeah.
So we were
what?
this
They
close
could
to potentially having another, a Superman. It's such a fascinating idea, though, to have Green Lantern and Superman together. Not a team up I would have necessarily. And you can't blame Warner Brothers going, yeah, okay, Superman, Green Lantern versus Superman and Batman. No, we're going to go our way. But I thought that was fascinating.
It still would have been nice to. It would have been nice to have Cavill in A Man of Steel 2. Like, just to see him off.
We never got it.
We never. No,
we never got it.
No, we got Superman v.
But I tell you what, Rick, I don't want to sound nuts here, but there are lots of us nerds out there, smart nerds, AI smart nerds, who can literally, if that script ever leak,
you could make it
and make it.
You can make it.
It would be perfect, but you would get that film.
And you could have Cavill
and that's going to start happening, dude.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you, in the next 5 years, we're going to start to see films being generated by AI based on scripts that never got made or got lost. And I'm all down for that because I'm like, yeah, let's see.
But then that will go to, the studios will go, oh, shit. Maybe that should have worked. That could have worked. Or we could do it.
Well, the problem is that they'll be millions of dollars in debt by having to pay for all the lawyers because they will sue the hell out of these AI artists. That would be the next thing. Oh, also, you know how I said Tom Cruise is the new Jackie Chan? Have you seen the reviews for the next Karate Kid?
No, which came out this week.
But it isn't good. The thing is, they say it's the worst Karate Kid film. I'm like, really?
Comes out in Australia next week, but yeah.
Yeah, it's apparently horrible.
Really? Is it that bad?
It's no Cobra Kai. That's what they're saying.
Oh,
they're saying it's the worst film of the franchise. And I'm like, really? Even the one with Hilary Swank, it's worse than that one? Like,
really?
So that's a shame because you want Jackie Chan to be in blockbusters. But yeah, unfortunately, that was a bit of a... That's just a side note. Another big franchise, Rick, I wanted to bring up to you is... And I'm a big fan of this franchise.
Yeah.
Are Bond films. I love the Bond films. Who doesn't... When you're a kid, you wanted to be James Bond. Right? Like, I love James Bond films. And there are rumours of who potentially has been... And there's been no...
This is...
Been no official announcement.
No.
However, this story is interesting to me because it kind of leans towards this actor being cast in the role. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, we mentioned Craven. But Aaron Taylor-Johnson is good. He's a good actor, very competent, made some bad career choices in movies. Like,
got to get paid.
Like Bullet Train, he's amazing in that. It's great. He has signed a deal with the James Bond Amiga watchmakers.
Amiga watches. Yeah.
Right? Which is, if you're James Bond, you get an Amiga watch. That's the watch you're wearing. He's currently signed a deal, which apparently is very a normal process. Like I believe Pierce Bronson went through the same
95,
process.
Yeah, GoldenEye when it was first. Yeah, that's when they first did the collaboration.
Craig, whatever his name is.
Daniel
Craig, sorry. He got the same deal. I feel like it's imminent. We're going to get an announcement that Aaron Taylor-Johnson is a James Bond, and I think it's a good choice.
So he's the ambassador of Amiga
at the moment
for watches.
But I do believe.
But this is
I think it's going to happen, Rick.
There's no car. They haven't said anything at the moment with any Bond news, like who they're going to cast.
It's been 6 years since the last Bond film.
Correct. So,
it's time. It's going to keep that franchise alive. It's time.
It's time. What do you do?
And this is where it's going to be controversial for some people, and I do stand by it. Is the fact that they've come out and said, no, he's an Englishman. He's a white Englishman. So they're not going to cast from a different ethnicity or race or gender or any of that. Now, what I'm scared about is whether they make him a pussy or they make him James Bond.
Back to the old days.
He's a misogynistic, he's awful, he's a sexist. He's a cold-blooded...
Back in the Sean Connery days.
Yeah, he's a cold-blooded killer, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, they are like parts of James Bond.
Yeah, 100%. You
know?
watch them through
That's what
those
makes it
years.
interesting to the audience to watch him, because you're really rooting for a bad guy in many ways. Like, in some ways. He's trying to do the greater good, but he does things a bit iffy. But you root for him because he's just so damn charming. Yeah. You fall under the spell of James Bond like the women do in the films.
Yeah.
So,
as long as he has... If he is, it would be great to see him. And, who knows?
Yeah.
It's just kind of, he's the ambassador for that Watchers. It's got that link
it kind of leads to those...
You just don't
It
know.
could not be, though.
Could be nothing. It could be just getting paid a shitload of money to brand their watches. And, so...
Yeah, it's an interesting thing.
It sparked a conversation.
But the big franchises we're talking about here with the...
But he hasn't publicly come out and said anything about it.
No.
There's no interviews going,
he did not denying it. And why would you? Yeah. Because, let's face it, he probably wants the job.
Yeah.
So even if it's not true, he'd be going,
But everyone's talking about it, so it's going to sell watches. It's going to put him in the spotlight.
It's an interesting choice too, because it's a choice made upon they think if they do choose him, he's the right character, more than whether he's box office gold, because he's not always box office gold.
No.
But he's the right choice. So that's kind of interesting too. Another bit of news that came out, I'm kind of rocking through it today, but there's a bit going on. Daredevil Born Again.
Amazing show.
We're going to laugh at Daredevil Born Again. I laugh at the whole production, because the announcement of this show was, we're redoing Daredevil and we're redoing it. We're giving a brand new, fresh take on Daredevil. And so that's what they do. They go into production doing this new version of Daredevil. They get halfway through production and go, nah, this isn't great. We're going to go back. And they've gone full back.
Thank God they did.
And people, once they realised that, once started asking questions, well, does that mean in the broader scope of those Netflix series are other characters coming back? And what has been spotted on set, so it's not a rumour, this is legit. Jessica Jones is returning in season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. Now, isn't that fantastic? Like, I actually didn't mind Jessica Jones. Because was it the Purple Man villain, David Tennant?
Yeah, it was killer.
He was so good.
So good.
I'm digging that. And so now, I don't know about Iron Fist.
Yeah,
everybody's questioning Iron Fist. But we want Mike Coulter back as Luke Cage, right?
Luke Cage is romantically involved with Jessica,
You've got to have Mike Coulter back.
That makes sense to bring him back. But Iron Fist,
But Danny Ritter,
But if they do,
you know what?
they got to recreate him better though. They need to do something.
Maybe it's not the actor. Maybe they could just do something, make the character
make him a bit better.
But then again, I don't want them to all start teaming up so it ends up becoming the Defenders again. Yeah. But I can see them redoing another Defender series and go, okay, we'll get it right this time. But it's a really interesting period because things are shifting around left, right, and centre. I didn't put this story in. I'll throw this as a curveball to you, and I did a video of it during the week, was the Harry Potter, and they announced the kids.
Yeah. Oh, the TV series?
The TV series, there's a picture of the kids. The kids are out. You see it on screen right now.
Do we need a TV series?
They've been announced. And I thought to myself, what an investment Warner Brothers is making. Because you're talking 7-8 years, right? Well, how long it's going to take them? Apparently it's going to be, each season's got to be a book, right? 7 books. That's a lot of money. So you're talking $500, $600, $700 million investment, right?
Are these new books or are these just still the same Harry Potter books?
We're just redoing. Season 1 will be Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Season 2 will be... Well, that's the thing. It's like, it still feels new, right? Like, when you think of Harry Potter, I don't think of them as old films yet.
Are they capturing a different generation now that have come through?
That's what they're trying to do. But my problem, here was my theory, and I stand by it, is remember when the Harry Potter films came out? They were epic. But they were also coming out in conjunction with the books.
Yeah.
They were a bit behind the books. I think when the first movie came out, book 3 had come out, or 4. So it was already in the zeitgeist heavily because all these kids were reading the Harry Potter books. So they were going to the movies. Now, since then, things have changed.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of those kids are kind of growing up now and all that kind of thing. The relevance in the zeitgeist, I don't think is there in much. And they've tried to keep it alive with that play, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and they've done other things, games, Hogwarts Legacy and that. But the problem is, I don't think it's gonna be as big as it was. And here's the other problem: is the author, J.K. Rowling. I mean, there are a lot of people who do not like that woman.
Yeah.
Because of her political views. Which, whether you like them or not, she's A, freedom of speech, she's entitled to have her opinion. But B, yeah, there's a large part of the audience that she relied on to buy the books and go to the movies are now like abandoning that series. So, well, abandoning anything to do with Harry Potter.
I mean, Warner Brothers is still making a
ton
of money.
I saw a TikTok the other day that said that if you still support J.K. Rowling, well, if you still have anything to do with Harry Potter in 2025, get off my stream. You know, kind of like.
I mean, come on, seriously, like it's everywhere. It's you've got it in Lego,
Well,
you've got it in gaming, TV shows, everywhere.
My argument against that
Come
is the idea of if you've got to have that philosophy, if we're going to judge and cancel, or you're not allowed to watch anything based upon bad behaviour or bad opinions from anyone in Hollywood, then stop watching movies and television. Because I can guarantee the people that you love, some of the people that you think are morally are not good people.
No.
So you have to separate the art from the artist. You know, I did a podcast a few weeks ago, I don't know if I mentioned it, with Jason Roy-Gaston, where we tackled Fat Albert.
Yeah.
We spent a whole hour talking about the influence and how important Fat Albert was. Now, if we were following the moral code, we shouldn't have been doing that because we're then giving airtime to Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, a show like that, Bill Cosby was, but they also had child development experts, professors, like a lot of people involved making that show to be the classic it was. And I feel like these days, I cannot abide with the absolutism of that. That's a bad person, therefore they're completely cancelled. And if you watch any of their stuff and you support them, then I don't want to know you either. I think it's a dangerous mindset to have. And now it's influencing what you watch in television and movies and that. I just think it's sad, you know? I don't...
It shouldn't be like that,
Look,
though. If you don't care...
But
if you enjoy it, when you watch a movie, do you enjoy it? You don't give a shit who... You know.
Well, there are two for Kevin Spacey in Usual Suspects and American Beauty. I love those films.
So now what, you're just going to boycott?
I'm not allowed to watch those films.
Yeah, that's what it's going to go, oh, fuck it, I'm not going to watch them.
Yeah, I'm going to watch those films.
It's bullshit. Nah.
Yeah, it's sad when people get like that. Because it doesn't allow you to grow and understand. And not that you should even agree, but you should hear it out the other side. You should be able to compartmentalise that and think about these... the way it is, but you have the choice. And I think if Rick, you said to me let's think of someone, Ryan Reynolds. I don't like Ryan Reynolds. I'm never going to watch anything Ryan Reynolds again, which is fine. But is it appropriate for you to turn around to me as one of your best friends and go, you're not allowed to watch it either?
Yeah,
and if you do watch it,
we're not friends.
Jason, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't be friends. That's pretty weird, right? That's weird. So. But yeah, look, coming back to Harry Potter, I wish...
So who are these kids? Who are they cast?
Unknown kids.
Unknown. So these are just fresh, unknown kids.
And they've got to pump this show out,
They're young now.
Because they grow. And we know teenage years...
How old are they?
I think in the first... They're the right age for the first movie. So they will age appropriately with the show.
That's crazy. So they're going to be pumping it out. They're going to grow kids.
They're going to be filming non-stop for 7 years. Because you're going to have 8 episodes, maybe a season, in hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars maintenance. And if it doesn't work, what happens?
There goes those kids' careers.
There goes those kids. I mean, no, but it just goes to show that these backing of some of these giant IPs, it just feels too new to do that. Those movies, whether you're a Harry Potter fan, they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but I enjoyed those movies. And I just don't think they've aged out.
No.
Why wouldn't you show your 5-year-old now the first film?
Why not?
Maybe not show them some of the darker stuff just yet, but the first film, it's magical. It's directed by fucking Chris Columbus. It's got that John Williams classic theme. It's got amazing actors and performances. There's a real magic around that film. that invariably you won't have in the TV show because you've got to flesh stuff out. So you've got to have boring, like some of the stuff we watched today, like series of stuff, you go, man, this is filler stuff. This whole episode is just a filler.
So if it's going to be Harry Potter, they're going to have to put a lot of money into it to make it Stevie.
Mate, I would be
CGI, everything to do with it. It's got
it's
to be
over $1 billion investment, I think. By the time you talk about marketing and production,
they're going to make
it's
that
over
money
$1
back.
billion.
They're going to make that money back.
Don't know how you do it on Max. How do you do that on Max? HBO Max. If you're already a subscriber,
That's it. You've got access
is it
to the
really
whole
going to
library.
draw that many people in? I don't know how the model is, but
Max
it's kind of
obviously
weird.
must pay him a big chunk of money. Oh, who knows? I don't know how it works, but yeah. I'm not going to be invested in watching it.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
But man, they struck so much gold with those movies and the kids they cast at the time. Like it's a ballsy move to try to match that. I just think this show we shouldn't be seeing this show for another 10 to 15 years. Because you need that gap, I think, to redo something like that.
Oh yeah. When was the last movie out?
2011.
Oh, see, that's still
So maybe it'd be 15 years old, but I do it. But I still think you need a bigger break than that.
Yeah.
Because those films also don't really age much because the effects are good at the time and it's a timeless environment. So it doesn't really age out. You don't go, they had mobile phone. No, it's...
Yeah.
It kind of looks
It's
like...
still
It
there.
doesn't even... The movies don't even explain what year it is.
No.
They just give you a sense.
Yeah, they're in their own little world.
Yeah. And of course, when you're in the Wizarding World, it looks like medieval England and so. But yeah, interesting stuff. So Rick, you want to hear something? Rick is at me 10 times a day about his excitement for Ironheart. Okay, fake news. That is fake news. However, there was something one of our viewers pointed out, thanks to James Gibbon out there who pointed that out, and I thought it was worth us redressing. That show has been in the can for 3 years. Did you know that?
No, I didn't actually.
So that thing was shot back in 2022, and the word going around, and I believe it is they knew they've got a dud, and they've been holding on to
Why
it.
release it then?
They've been just holding on to it.
Would you fucking release it?
Apparently, that's the rumour going around. They know they've got a turd, and that's why they've kept it on the shelf for so long. So I guarantee it's going to come and go very quickly. People are like,
Of course, no one's going to watch it. It's going to be It's going to be like all those other series that they've put out there on Disney. Like Echo. Has anyone rewatched that? You've probably watched it once.
I didn't watch. I watched 3 episodes.
There you go. And then you've just gone, no.
It's not a show for me, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm going to cave with too.
But it's got to draw you in the first couple of episodes. You're going to be like, oh, wow, this is good.
Yeah.
For you to watch the remaining whatever amount there's left.
Yeah. The problem with Ironheart, like we addressed, is that she was never a likeable character by design. She's not likeable. She's a very entitled character. And in the comic book, they tried launching her a couple of times and it failed. So it's really bizarre, And I'm glad that represents a time now that Marvel is moving away from that. They've got their new structure. And the big one, and there's lots of news coming out of this, which we'll talk about on our next show when we get more info, is Vision Quest, which I think is the one streaming show coming that looks great.
Yep.
Now, there have been great cast announcements for it. Even the guy that played Jarvis, the real-life Jarvis, in Endgame, and played it in Agent Carter.
Bettany? Was it Bettany? What's his name?
No, Paul Bettany is
Bettany,
Vision,
yeah.
but the other guy who actually played the real life in Agent Carter, and then he had an appearance in Endgame. He's in there.
Yeah.
Everyone that's associated with James Spader, we know is back. I'm really digging that because that feels like they're really going to do something interesting with and they've got a story to tell, and it isn't about, dare I say, DEI series. And I don't mind diversity diversity should be organic to me.
That's not organic though. Ironheart's not.
I do feel Echo and Ironheart that the agenda was we need to add more diversity into our stuff. No Marvel or any other Disney branch of Disney, just make good stuff. honestly, 99.9% of us on this planet don't care about skin pigmentation, don't care about the gender of things. We just want good material.
We just want good content. That's all we want to watch.
Like,
so how many times have you gone over it?
Yeah.
Have you watched any of those other shows on streaming? Like, have you gone back on Disney and gone, oh, gee, I wouldn't mind rewatching, I don't know, one of the TV shows?
Oh, I actually have. Recently I did, after seeing Captain America Brave New World, I did go back and watch Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Because I did enjoy their chemistry quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, I watched a couple episodes of She-Hulk again. There's some stuff I will, but majority of it just comes and goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so you've got to really kind of focus on the films. Early reactions just come out 24 hours ago about Fantastic Four. And they're saying, and it's no spoilers, but they're saying, the one criticism I read out of all of it, then I'll tell you the good stuff, was this person was a bit disappointed in the way they used Mr. Fantastic's powers. Right? That was their one complaint. Which I'm like, yeah, but...
The way he used them.
A stretchy guy's a stretchy guy.
The way he used them.
Like the way they use his ability, but I'm like...
That's his...
Well, I'm actually more fascinated in him as a
But
character.
in the contents and how... Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's the smartest man in the universe, right? So, anyway. But they reckon Galactus
there was
is
images
the
of
most
something
intimidating
he looks
Marvel
good.
villain they have done in a very, very long time. Like, the threat of him is very much. And so, yeah, and I think that what captured me the most in some of these reactions was it was far more darker than what they were expecting, which was a shock to me.
All right, that's good.
I don't mind. If you're going to have a juxtaposition with this happy kind of environment, this 60s sci-fi kind of look, and then some dark ideas. And remember, Fantastic Four is soaked in darkness in a way. And I don't think this is... I've got no confirmation on this, but I'm pretty sure Franklin Richards is in the movie. We know in the synopsis she's pregnant, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the kid comes into it. Now, if you know anything about Franklin Richards, Franklin, he's not exactly...
A golden child.
Yeah, the picture perfect good kid.
No.
There's some issues that happen along the way. So I like where they're going with that. And I am excited to see that.
Well,
I think I am very, very excited to see that.
That's still positive. What you've just like...
No one
really
said
bad.
It's a turd.
Like
no, that's right. Yeah. Oh, no, they did have one other complaint, the way they thought the thing was used in it. And I'm going, well, what I've seen in the trailer, I like that. Yeah. What do you want to do with the thing? We're going to repeat the same story?
It's clobbering time all the time?
Well, he's sad because no one loves him and things. No, I get past that. I liked it in the trailer. He's like... He's happy, man. He's cooking. He's
accepted by everyone. You can see it.
Yeah, he loves his fans. He plays with the kids. Like, bring it on.
Maybe we're missing something. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to be a flop. I think it's going to be great. So.
Comic-Con is coming. But you know who's not coming to Comic-Con? Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios, they are not going to have a panel or any announcement.
In San Diego Comic-Con.
In the Comic-Con. The San Diego. Excuse me. Which is...
This is not done before.
Of recent times, they've done that.
They've done that before.
And I prefer that.
You don't
come when you can bring it. Because, like, you know, next year...
Got nothing to bring it.
When they go, they're going to have all this footage of Doomsday and all that stuff. Because Comic-Con will come out.
Well, they really... Yeah, the last one was huge for them. So it makes sense.
That thing's to say.
Right. Yeah. They got nothing to say. So,
at this time.
Sense. It's fine.
Like, you know what I mean? That's great, right? And plus... The less known about Doomsday, I think, is the better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we will get footage at that point and all that. So I'm excited about that. In fact, Comic-Con, as we know now, doesn't hold the big grandeur that it did in the 2000s.
Not anymore.
Because you have those other things like that thing a few weeks ago for the exhibitors. CinemaCon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, CinemaCon. Yeah. You have the Disney thing in August.
Yeah,
D20. Where they release all their stuff. Lucasfilm has their own kind of thing. So I think those days of you've got to go to Comic-Con, they still do, but it's not like we've got to be there all the time. So I'm excited about that, which is pretty great.
So so DC would be there. Surely DC would be there.
I think James Gunn will be there because it'll be right around the time of the release of Superman. No, in fact, isn't it in the first week of July? And I'm sure someone out there dates. I bet you there's an exclusive screening of Superman around that time at Comic-Con.
There would be. You would think.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Absolutely. It's a bit interesting coming out to Superman is what they're doing with their marketing now. I think they're doing a great job. I've loved some of the artwork that's come out. And the toy ads.
No,
I like the fact they're embracing toys with this. So there's a great little commercial, Superman and one of those kaiju, big kaiju thing. And the thing with the kaiju, if you hit it in the stomach, it comes out and all this green slime falls out of his stomach. People go, is that a spoiler? I'm like, who cares? It's great they're making stuff like that for kids. I think it's great. Let's embrace it. So, it's going to be a great time, I think, with DC stuff. I think we're coming up with some fun stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot coming out.
Because we see Superman and literally a month later, we're into Peacemaker Season 2, which James Gunn just said literally hours ago, there's going to be a huge cameo in the series. And that's all he said.
A huge cameo.
He said a big cameo. So that could be many things. Could be Superman, but it also could maybe be an introduction to a character we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't know who. They haven't spoken about Wonder Woman.
I don't think it'll be Superman. I think it'll be...
Or Batman. They're two characters that James Gunn has.
He's yeah.
So maybe, or it's Superman. I mean, like, it'd be like, who cares really? As long as you get John Cena next to one of those guys, you just let it take over.
Yeah,
he's just phenomenal.
He's awesome in Peacemaker. But James Gunn's not going to disappoint. So I'm sure it's going to be a huge cameo.
Oh, I reckon it will be. I reckon it will be massive.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, now it's an interesting time, and to be honest with you, dude, I want some more content because. I don't know about you, but I've been struggling to watch stuff on TV. There's been one show that's come out recently, which is excellent, but feels like a bit of a lull for me. Hasn't been much. What have you been watching?
What have I watched? I watched The Bondsman with Kevin Bacon.
What was that like?
Mate, I didn't mind it.
I cancelled it.
It was okay.
I cancelled it.
You cancelled Prime? Or cancelled...
No, the show.
Oh, you cancelled the show, yeah.
Yeah, that's got me no second season.
Mate, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's a quick 8 episodes, There
is one TV show that comes out. It's not comic book related, but it's singly the funniest thing I've seen on television in a very long time. Tom Segura's Bad Thoughts.
I've heard about it. I haven't.
Dude!
He's awesome.
I'm telling you.
Funny as fuck.
In the first... If you don't ring me at the end of the first episode and say, I almost had a heart attack because I was crying so much. I'm telling you. Dude, he's made the show for you. For you, he's made this show. That's how much you're going to love it.
I'll watch it.
But you should be watching it this weekend. And
I'm going to watch it this weekend.
Even after the first episode, and tell me it's not...
It's on Netflix, isn't it?
It's on Netflix. It's not one of the most original, greatest shows you've ever seen.
Awesome.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Awesome. It's shockingly funny. It's really, really, really good. So, but yeah.
There's a lot of stuff coming out.
There is not yet though, is there?
No.
Things are not kind of... But there's summer over in America. We know that's usually...
Yeah.
For the streaming, it's different, but, things do slow down in the summer.
Rick and Morty's out now, the new season.
Haven't watched it yet.
That's gone to Max. I know. So it's like, now you're going to go over and get Max now. Like, it's... Where does this end?
Like,
what have you done, Jace? I know you've got a lot of streaming.
Oh, okay.
So what's your strategy?
Here's my story on all this. I got to a point where I had every streaming service for a long time.
Yeah.
And then one day, because I'm slow and it takes me a while, I went, what is the difference for this and what I used to pay for Foxtel in the late 90s?
Yeah.
You lost...
I just lost me.
Production issues. It's all good. What was I going to say? When you pay over $120 a month, right? We did back in the day for Foxtel.
Yeah.
With all the streaming services, you're back at that price point. And then the other thing, Rick, is like Netflix, for example. There were times where I wouldn't even turn on the app for 6 months.
Yeah.
I remember famously Disney Plus. I got it for Mandalorian. Then watched
that was it.
Nothing else till the following year when they dropped Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision. That I remember that. So I'm like, I now cut back. I do this thing where I have 2 to 3 streaming services.
Yeah.
Watch what I want, and then if there's a show that I want to watch on a streaming, another one, then I'll cancel that 1 month. And so I'm juggling because it's ridiculous.
So you got Max at the moment?
Yes,
yeah, you got Max. Yeah,
absolutely. That has become one of my favourite streaming services.
Might have to jump on Max, get rid of another one.
I would jump on. I have Max. I have Paramount Plus. I like Megan likes
I've
Paramount
got
Plus, and
yeah.
I still like Star
Still
Trek.
got Binge or got rid of Binge?
Yeah, Max.
Because Max and Binge kind of, the Netflix
Well,
and
they were the
Binge
same
had the same
thing.
sort of...
They were the same thing in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, Max, Paramount Plus, Amazon because
You have to, if you
I
use,
see
if
that
you use
because
the
I
service,
pay for the Prime and
that's where they get
I
you.
get that for free. Yeah, that's about it. Obviously, I have Tubi and things like that and free stuff. But yeah, I'm done with it, man. I'm kind of like, you have to now give me a reason to sign on to your service. Not for the promise of things or back catalogues. I want to know, is it a show that I'm really interested in? I'll go over and
The price is just going up and up and up.
It's crazy.
And then you got with Prime,
And you know what they do now? This is even more dodgy, I found, because Megan's been getting emails. My wife's been getting emails over this. Because we went away from Disney Plus and we went away from that, they're sending her emails offering us deals to return at almost half the cost of what we were paying.
That's put half the cost for everyday people.
Yeah, like, it's, it's a
do you know what I mean? If that's
system.
the strategy you want to do.
It's a strange system.
And then you got to pay for ads or not ads. You know, you get it cheaper, or you know, if you want to watch commercials or not. I get it, but geez,
it's unbelievable.
There used to be a time when it was. I don't know how much Max is. I heard it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap. I think it's around $10.
Cheap, and then it just goes up.
Yeah, it'll go up. That'll go up. And I think most people will be like me in the end and go, well, I've got to make choices here. What's coming out?
Correct.
And what invariably that'll do, if most people adopted that mindset, well, that's going to send shockwaves through it globally and maybe force some of these streaming services not to pump out so much, but just to pump out stuff that people are going to absolutely want to come and do. Like Mandalorian is the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Disney Plus I had zero interest in, right? But when they announced that streaming service, they said the first thing that's going to be on that streaming service is new is the first ever Star Wars TV show. Now, that was something to get millions of people to sign up for. You're kind of going to have to pull some of those manoeuvres. I don't know what, but they're going to have to do something.
Brave New World just dropped on Disney, so that's...
Yeah, that's good. Go watch that, by the way. I think it's much maligned. I think it's an enjoyable film.
So
I wouldn't put it past Disney one day to go, all right, we are now going to... Star Wars is going to have its own streaming service. Marvel is going to have its own streaming service as a way to garner more money out of you. Oh, it'll only be $4.99 if you sign up for the Star Wars streaming service. A way to garner more money. It's ridiculous.
But would you get the people? Yeah, well, it's a big Star Wars
fan. As a big Star Wars fan, then our choice would be, well, I don't need Disney Plus anymore. I only need Marvel.
There you go. Is that going to take away from that?
I only need Marvel and I only need Star Wars for my fandom, you know? And I know I'm different because I know a lot of people who love the Pixar stuff and love the Disney animated stuff, which, you know, and I'm sure people are clamouring to see Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to drop. Yeah, Snow White.
But you know what she's doing right now that got announced yesterday? She's dropping her pants and joined OnlyFans. Hilarious. Don't you just love the moral code?
Is that true?
Oh, it is.
It
is confirmed.
Confirmed?
So don't you just love the moral code of these young people sometimes? I know I'm being an old fart, but I just don't remember being 20.
So then what happens with that now
and
with
a girl who didn't do well in Hollywood went, well, I guess I've got no choice but to take my clothes off.
So now what does she do now?
Take her clothes off.
Like, no, with her career. Like, is that it? She's done?
This is where the weird thing is too with a lot of young people.
Is Hollywood going to go...
Is they don't see the correlation of doing something like that would affect their career. But it will.
It just seems to be the norm now. Every female...
I'm all for sexual liberation. It's all good. But you're a fool if you don't think that people look at you differently or treat you differently if you're an OnlyFans model or you're in the sex industry.
What's her name? Was selling her bath water. What's her name?
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney selling her bath water.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
It's just crazy.
It's gross, to be honest with you.
What are you going to do with it?
I don't know. It's pretty gross.
Guy going to go, and she would be paying. You'd be paying a bit for it. That just blows me. That just blows my mind.
It's just crazy that people go, all right, well, my only choice is I've got to take my clothes off. And it's even like one of the great actresses who was very honest about reasons why she did OnlyFans was Dre D'Amato.
Yes.
Because she was broke.
From The Sopranos.
But I don't believe she's doing it anymore because I've seen her now appearing in other films, getting roles, and kind of getting her career back. So maybe she could argue that did do well for her career. But me, I'm an old fart. I just think that, you know... I mean, it's funny for Rachel Zegler because
of
it was her mouth that got her into trouble. Because young people feel like they can say anything with no consequences.
Well,
and the consequences were you bit the hand that fed you. Yeah. You completely put a whole side of the community offside with this film. So, yeah. But I thought that's how we'll wrap up today's show.
That's hilarious.
Rachel Zegler, go look her up at OnlyFans.
Check it out now, Jason. We'll get some... Wow.
Well, I definitely don't have OnlyFans. I'm not interested in OnlyFans.
Only feet.
Only feet.
Yeah.
But I would pay for Rachel Zegler if she basically just did live versions of those memes out with with her doing her little scene and they've added other voices to it. It's great. It's great. But yeah,
there you go, guys.
Instead of going, okay, I've stuffed up. Let's go back and do some independent films. Let's try to create a role. I've learned from my mistake. I opened my mouth. I'll never do that again. Let me take my clothes off so I can make money the easiest possible way. And I'll tell you what, love.
That's only going to last for several.
Yeah, for so long. Once they've seen it, they've seen it. They don't need to see it again. You know why? Because there's millions of other people out there taking their clothes off too.
There's a lot of celebrities that do it. There's a lot of celebrities that do it. It's crazy. I just don't get it.
It's just a shame because acting is such a skill set. It's such a talent that, for me, if you've got that talent, you're gifted with that, and you've worked very hard to get into that. Why wouldn't you just keep following down the path? Like, real actors. Generally, a real actor because they always... even the real good big actors, you see them in a blockbuster, but you go, what have they been doing for the last year? Well, they've been doing an off-Broadway play.
Yeah.
Because they love acting.
Yeah, correct.
They just want to be an actor. And really, for them, they've been fortunate enough to make money.
She's got no passion for it. She doesn't, it's all about the money for her.
She was miscast. And I'm not talking racially, even though she's not probably the ideal of Snow White. Not Snow Latino or Snow Black, Snow White. Again, I think, it should be
Disney
the typical pale white chick kind of thing with the dark hair. So that was a miscasting. And I don't think she had the chops, to be honest with you. I don't even really think it matters that she was Latino because if you've got someone like, say, Selena Gomez, I know people hate her, I think she's quite talented. Or some of these other Latinos who can really, really bring it.
Yeah.
And understand what they're involved in. And respect the industry they're involved in. Even though the industry doesn't respect them sometimes, that's what you want to get into.
I get it, but, they're under the microscope 24/7 if you're a celebrity, high-end celebrity, of course. Yeah. Everyone wants to know everything. Your moves, everything you do.
Her doing OnlyFans... She will never work for Disney again.
No, it's done.
Let's see you later. You're never going to get that. You're not going to get anything high profile.
No.
You might be, there's a role out there you would love, but because it's PG or G, as a film, they may not cast you based upon everyone seeing your boobs. So, and you go, how conservative is that? Get over yourself. I'm not saying I'm like that. I'm just saying, en masse, people are going to reject that.
Yeah, 100%.
Because even these young girls one day grow up and they get married and they have kids and their worldview completely changes. Then they're becoming the people to protect their kids from that type of stuff.
It's just taken over dramatically. It is everywhere. OnlyFans is everywhere. And
you know what the problem with OnlyFans is? It's like YouTube in the sense of, early YouTube, I'll get on YouTube and I'll make a lot of money and I'll get hundreds of thousands of views. It's such a small percentage of people that happens to, and the rest of people on OnlyFans make nothing.
So it's just... it's sad because people, there's filters of people being Down syndrome and promoting that they're Down syndrome and promoting that they're OnlyFans accounts. It's disgusting.
But using that filter?
Yeah. Yeah,
which I think is abhorrently wrong. Because of what you're saying, you're playing into a fantasy and you're suggesting that dudes want to bang Down syndrome girls.
It's wrong.
It kind of is, right? It kind of is. I mean, it's
twisted.
To me, it's nothing to do with their looks, because Down syndrome, some young girls, they can be quite pretty, but at the end of the day, you are taking advantage. To me, it's kind of...
Just to promote your own.
Even though they're of age, it feels in the same thing as pedophilia. It's just so wrong, so morally abhorrent to think of that... it should be banned.
It's all over, and like, kids use social media a lot. Obviously, a lot of young kids and stuff. They use on Instagram and you see it. And there's ways that they trick the algorithm to promote their OnlyFans accounts.
Yeah.
And it's and then you've got creators like ourselves who are out there on the time trying to make something.
Right? And I spent a long time cultivating, because, like, honestly, even at my age, if I wanted to look at pornography, I'm not looking for it on social media, right? There are plenty of sites that I could go to.
That's right.
To pick whatever I want to choose.
Correct.
So I've spent a lot of time trying to cultivate very clean social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I want to be out and about, sitting in a doctor's office, going from Instagram and not having to worry about boobs or anything else.
You can't
Though
do
I was on X, and I cultivated a very clean one. Porn started showing up.
Yep.
And mate, I've never looked or anywhere near that, because I'm not looking for that then.
No.
So, no, it's good. It's an interesting world, with the mix of Hollywood the way it is, the rise of AI, the young people and their approach to these things. It's really... I just don't... I keep going on about this. I just don't see the same film industry in 10 years that we had 10 years ago. It's done. But yeah. Anyway, on that happy note, we're going to wrap it up for another episode of The Catch Up. We hope you guys are enjoying this. Rick, can you tell all the people out there how they can connect with us?
Guys, all you need to do is just like and subscribe across all our social media platforms. All the links will be down below. We really appreciate it. It just helps that algorithm move around, so we're shared and liked with everyone. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
and thank you, legends out there. We'll see you next time.
See ya.